it's a perfect segue into Pierce's character and the origins of the Murse.
I love it. I love the Murse.
The Murse, the Murse, it's funny.
Hang on, Elle, hang on real quick. If anybody doesn't know what we're talking about,
right.
If you haven't seen Bosch, Pierce is the character I play on Bosch. And season 3, I got upped to detective, and I acquired a Murse from my wife on the show, and the origin of it was from Elle. Right? Like you.
Yeah.
That was just, where did it come from? I don't know.
Well, we have a writer's room, obviously, and we're all just sitting in the writer's room talking about the characters and who they are, and just trying to come up with moments for them as we figure out not only the plot of the case that we're trying to solve, but who these people are and what's happening in their personal lives. And I just love the idea that Pierce would have this bag because he was a new detective, that his wife had given it to him, and that it was kind of a symbol of this family man. That's a man who has something larger in his life. He's got a relationship that he's dedicated to, but clearly this is somebody who is on board with his journey, becoming a detective and rising up through the ranks, and that this bag would just kind of be like the physical embodiment of that relationship and who this man was. That this was a man who was grounded, had a great relationship, and strong enough in and of himself to carry a Murse to work. To me, it just said so much about who he was. Yeah. And I had not had an opportunity to work with you at that point because I was new to the show. But, talking about actors and how you get a job, I didn't know who you were, but I knew that all of the writers and executive producers were impressed by you, impressed by your work ethic, impressed by your talent, impressed with how you carried yourself on set, enough to know that they wanted you around, that from what they had seen before, that they wanted to have more of you, that you would be an asset, and that you would be able to not only play the character, but fit in well with the vibe on set. And so everybody just loved you as a person and wanted to see Pierce be around. So, knowing that and the kind of love that people had for that character, who we only really saw glimpses of, I was like, okay, let's build this out into something more.
Yeah. So if anybody's out there wondering, we just shot our 7th season, and it's going to be coming out on June 25th. Make sure you check that out. But if anybody's wondering, I did get to keep the Murse.
Oh my God.
I did. I'm going to tell you, I was gunning for it. I was gunning for the Murse, and I have it. We just moved, so it's packed away. But one of the things that, I think as actors, we have to do is, the writers give you such an amazing deep foundation, but you got to take it deeper, right? You got to. And so one of my grounding just nuggets for me was the Murse, but it also meant so much more. It meant that I called myself the Boy Scout, right? And it really meant, nobody ever told me that I was the moral compass of the show, but I just, for me, it all stemmed from that season 3. Let's go back to season 1 and make sure we remember all this stuff, but then also, how do we expand this for myself too? So the Murse really helped, is what I'm trying to say.